Start work with Porsche 992 Turbo S. So when the client came, he asked like what can be done to have a bit more sound. And after all the tuning, we expect to see something close to 800 horsepower and 900 to 950 Newton meters of torque. Removed, so the TCU is opened and I have it all wired up and connected to the programmer device. Okay, so the mechanics just removed the exhaust and the downpipes from the car. You can see the turbochargers and everything is removed. And I want to talk a bit about the components that we are going to use for the build. So as I told previously, this car, it has OPF filters and catalytic converters installed. If you check, this component is like crazy big. And the one that we're going to be replacing it with is this. So this is a downpipe with proper heat shielding outside. So you can see the amount of heat shielding material that we use. So this is the pipe diameter, this is 3-inch pipe, and all this outside, basically 10 millimeters on each side, is the heat shielding. So it's special ceramic wool and stainless steel heat shield on the outside. So it actually works. If you compare it to some other guys offering downpipes that claim to have heat shielding, well, it's always really easy to tell. If you look at the downpipe, you can see the part that is unprotected by the heat shield and compare it to the heat shield. Usually it's like same outer diameter, and it means that what they do, they take stainless steel heat shielding material, the outer shell, and just weld it direct to metal. So metal to metal does nothing in terms of heat shielding, and you need to understand this. So below this outer sheet, there's supposed to be a special ceramic wool. And this ceramic wool makes a big difference in heat dissipation. So for example, when this downpipe heats up, on the outside the temperature would be about 500 degrees Celsius lower than on bare pipe. So always check what kind of heat shield you're being offered, because there is a big difference. And as I said, we're not installing catalyst downpipes, we actually install downpipes with sport catalytic converters. This is a 200-cell catalytic converters, extremely high flow, so we will have basically no back pressure, but we still are eco-friendly, so it will not smell unburned gasoline, and the sound will be a bit more smoother than what it could have been without the cats. So this is the part that we're going to be installing instead of this part, and same for the other side. And of course we're keeping the Brabus muffler. It sounds good. I would say almost empty, and I think it's titanium the way it comes. So once installed, we'll check the sound and we'll have the car back on the dyno for some adjustments. Yeah, so I make a few runs, get the guys, if needed, remove the straps. If you can assemble it on the dyno, do it here, so we don't lose any time. Yeah, just make sure that everything is installed in one go, like all the body panels, underneath protection, everything, we don't forget anything, okay? Okay, so the car is on the dyno again. We actually had a few runs yesterday, adjusting the parameters and working with the data logs. Now it's 90% finished. We're making some less tests. We'll make a few more dyno runs just to make sure the numbers are consistent, and that's about it. So overall, the downpipes are installed. We are using catted downpipes with sport catalytic converters. Otherwise, the car is fully stock, like stock air filters, intake system, every single part is stock. We have finished with the multi-map tune, already tested, works perfect, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes, and I'll explain how it works and what are the benefits. So now we put the car into dyno mode. It's quite important for all the safety features not to interfere in the dyno measurements. Once it's dyno mode, you can see, yeah, it didn't stop the engine, so it doesn't like it. So as you can see here, it says dyno mode. It means that the car is ready to be measured, and that's what we will do. We turn on the fans, so we have two fans in the front to cool down the car and one in the back to cool down the intercoolers. And now we can make the run. Okay, so we're finally done with tuning this beautiful Porsche. I'll remind you, we just installed the downpipes with sport catalytic converters. Everything else is fully stock, nothing modified. And the idea was to make a safe, reliable tune for this car to be used as a daily and to have the ability to have a bit more power when you want to race. Yeah, so don't think I'm shaking, the guys are actually unstrapping the car from dyno. Okay, so the results that we got on a stock car are 638 horsepower to the engine or 560 to the wheels. Then we installed the downpipes, and since we have multi-map tune, we made a few different power levels. So map 1 is super safe, basically very close to stock horsepower. It's 673 horsepower and 832 Newton meters of torque. So basically it's like 50 HP gain and 50 Newton meters gain over stock, but still fun. As you can see, the blue graph is stock, and even the map 1 is much more smooth and has more power and torque. Then we have the map 2. That's the daily map that has really good power, 733 HP to the engine or 660 to the wheels, 900 Newton meters of torque. Very flat torque curve, so really good, extremely fun to drive. Then we have map 3, that's the race map. It's supposed to be used on race fuel, basically 100 or 102 octane. We could only test it on 98 because, well, that's what we have in the tank. But this tune is tested. It gives about 770 to 800 HP on the engine, about 700 to the wheels. This tune is when the owner goes to Europe to drive on Autobahn, so they have a bit better fuel than here in UAE. So the car has potential to have some fun. Or you can go to some race shop, get racing fuel, add it to the tank and go have some fun during the weekend. And fourth map is limited power valley mode. You can use it for different occasions. For this car we limited the RPM by 1500 RPM and the load by 40%. So it's good when you need to give your car to some garage. For example, you don't want them to race on your car, to rev it when it's cold, and you don't want to control every step of some mechanic or other guy who gets to sit in your car. You just put it in this safe mode and they will not damage the car even if they want to. Also, It can be used for different occasions when somebody wants to test your car and maybe rev it and check if your exhaust is too loud. So you can rev it all day long, 1500 RPM, that's not too loud. So I'll show you how it works. So the maps can be selected on idle engine. It can be selected when just the ignition is on and engine not running. You can select the maps even while driving. So since the guys are actually installing the rear bumper now, I'll show it on non-running engine, but you can select any map at any point in time, no limitations. Basically, so car is on, see, now it shows map 4 selected, so the limited power map. But for example, then we want to change the map to our low power map. So we go into map select mode by pulling on the cruise control stalk. It goes into map select, shows map 4. So we go down, we select map 1, wait 2 seconds. Yeah, map 1 is active and the RPM resume normal operation. Then, for example, you go to a traffic light, some guy comes up to you and says, yo bro, you wanna race? I say, yeah, okay, give me a sec, you're standing at the traffic light, go into map select mode, you don't need to turn off the engine, anything. We select map 3, race map. Wait 2 seconds, it's active. And you immediately can have a race. So that's basically like having 4 different maps in one car, and it's extremely easy and fast to change between the maps. On this specific car we used it for selecting different power levels, but in reality you can use it for whatever. For example, one map could have extra pops, one map could have fire enabled, all that stupid stuff that damages your engine but looks really fun. Third map could be an E85 map used for race fuel, ethanol fuel, whatever. So possibilities are endless. Whatever you want to build, we can custom code it for you and implement in any Porsche, in any McLaren, in any Mercedes, any Lambo, whatever. Multi-map is pretty cool and the possibilities are endless. You can have tons of fun with it. And this car is done. We're assembling it. We have 1 hour to put it back together, 1 hour to clean it and give it to the client for him to have some fun.